Tracking, alerting, protecting. This is WKYT News at 6.
We're tracking breaking news in Harlan County tonight. Why police say they arrested a former girls' high school basketball coach.
Still many questions tonight about the disappearance of a Harrison County man. An update on the search.
How investigators say a baseball cap helped them solve a crime in Laurel County.
After a propane shortage last year, it's recommended that you fill up your tanks now before the winter arrives.
WKYT News at 6 starts now. We begin tonight with a breaking news alert out of southeastern Kentucky. Good evening. Tonight, deputies have arrested a former high school girls basketball coach. He's accused of trying to videotape basketball players in the locker room.
The Harlan County Sheriff's Office arrested 41-year-old Anthony Nolan this afternoon. He was a girls basketball coach in Harlan County for about 20 years. WKYT's Jerica Insko is at the live desk with the breaking details. Jerica?
Sam, we received this indictment from the clerk's office in Harlan County, which lists 4 charges against 41-year-old Anthony Nolan. He was indicted yesterday by a grand jury. The Harlan County Sheriff tells me Nolan was arrested at Harlan County High School, where he teaches English and formerly coached the girls' basketball team until May of this year. And that's when this investigation opened, because the sheriff says some girls on Nolan's basketball team found his cell phone in their locker room. The sheriff says Nolan was attempting to use his cell phone to videotape his female players. The charges against him include 2 counts of criminal attempt to promote a minor under 16 in a sex performance and 2 counts of criminal attempt to promote a sexual performance by a minor under 18. He's booked in the Harlan County Detention Center on those charges. Now, the sheriff tells me the 4 charges are preliminary and that Anthony Nolan could face more as the investigation continues. He will be arraigned on November 6th. At the live desk, Jerica Insko, WKYT.
Family members say they're getting more worried by the day. Tonight, there's still no sign of a Central Kentucky man who disappeared nearly a week ago.
Investigators say no one has heard from Clinton O'Brien since last Wednesday. They say someone found his car near the Licking River in Harrison County yesterday. WKYT's Sam Smith is tracking the search in our top story at 6.
The search for Clinton O'Brien began for the Harrison County Search and Rescue Team last night. His car was found parked near Robinson Dam. His keys were inside and a tire was flat. No one has seen him since last Tuesday night. The 32-year-old was spotted at a gas station in Cynthiana.
And then he made a phone call to his girlfriend on Wednesday night, and no one has heard or seen from him since.
Regina Kraft says her team searched the dam for any signs of where he could have gone. They searched the land.
Just to clear it, make sure there was no one maybe laying on the banks.
They searched the water and nothing was found. A search dog team from Grant County was called in to help with the search. The dogs picked up a human scent. Crews put boats back into the water to follow the lead. Kraft says her team is committed to finding some answers.
We're just doing the best we can right now to bring closure to the family, whether we find him, out there or we find him with friends, in another county. We're doing the best we can for the family to bring closure to them, and we just want them to know that we are trying.
In Harrison County, Sam Smith, WKYT.
And we have just learned from our reporter at the scene that a body has just been pulled from the river near that dam. Harrison County Search and Rescue tell us O'Brien's family is going to the scene to try and identify. We'll have the latest on the situation tonight for you at 11.
Wind and rain ushering in some major changes in our weather tonight. Those warm temperatures are about to take a big tumble. Chief Meteorologist Chris Bailey shows us what he's tracking. Chris?
Yeah, those temperatures out there, Sam, already now beginning to drop off very quickly across the bluegrass region as that cold front is right on top of the region. Take a look at the big temperature spread. You're talking almost 20 degrees in some cases, with mid and upper 70s showing up into southeastern Kentucky over the past few hours, mid to upper 50s into parts of central Kentucky as of now. So that front is now making its way through Mount Sterling. It's on top of Moorhead, Richmond, and eventually sliding into London. The farther east that this front gets, the better instability that we are beginning to see. So we're seeing some thunder and lightning going up with these cells from around Flemingsburg, Vanceburg toward Moorhead, another little cell on top of West Liberty and the Sandy Hook area. Richmond, heavy rains with that is working off to the southeast. That'll impact parts of the Mountain Parkway corridor. Additional showers now pushing into Corbin, London, hello Somerset. It's been soggy out there for the past several hours. Here in Lexington, mainly overcast conditions that we are seeing with a lot of clouds. Still can't rule out an isolated shower coming from the southwest as that front slowly now pushes to the east of the central Kentucky area. The focus, though, of the forecast when I come back is on Halloween that is just days away. And picture this. Yesterday, it was in the summer-like 80s. By the time we hit Friday evening and Friday night, that's your Halloween. Guys, I'm tracking a blast from Old Man Winter. I'll tell you what to expect when I come back in a matter of minutes.
Thank you, Chris. The case has been cold for about a year and a half, but tonight, Laurel County deputies say they now know who tried to rob a tobacco store.
A grand jury has indicted 35-year-old Sean Stalin. He's already in prison for another crime. New at 6, WKYT's Phil Pendleton tells us how investigators say a baseball cap helped them solve the case.
April 15th last year, a man walked up to Wildcat Tobacco with a gun.
Pecked on the glass, brandished a firearm at the clerk. And when he looked inside and saw some male subjects inside the store, he fled the scene.
But not before dropping his hat, which turned out to hold the key piece of evidence.
We took a cap, we got DNA from a suspect, matched it up, and now we have a man under indictment.
That man is 35-year-old Sean Stalin of Lilly.
This is something that sometimes people think only happens around the big city where big city cops make arrests with DNA. We can do the same things right here.
Stalin was actually arrested the day after this incident when he robbed a store on Kentucky 229 and was sentenced to 15 years in prison. But police say that he was always a suspect in the Wildcat Tobacco case. DNA found in the hat proved to be the missing piece of the puzzle to solve the year-old case.
We actually had ideas that he was involved in the one out on at Wildcat Tobacco. So we actually had him as a suspect. You know, he fit the same description. We just needed to be able to physically tie him to the scene.
Police say the charges from the attempted robbery could be added on to the time that he's already serving. In Laurel County, Phil Pendleton, WKYT.
Police tell us because of the backlog at the state crime lab, it took nearly a year to test the evidence found on that baseball cap.
A man charged after a strange death at the Jessamine County Jail has been indicted. A grand jury indicted Michael Jones for manslaughter, promoting contraband, and drug trafficking. He had originally been charged with murder. In August, police say Jones soaked his underwear in liquid methadone while out of jail on a court-ordered furlough. They say Jones wore the underwear into the jail and then gave pieces of it to other inmates. Police say inmate Corey McQuarrie died after ingesting the methadone. This afternoon, 4 UK football players accused of using BB guns on campus were arraigned. Freshmen Drew Barker, Dorian Baker, Tamir DeBose, and Stanley Williams were cited for misdemeanor disorderly conduct. Their attorney entered a not guilty plea for each player in Fayette District Court. Court documents say the 4 men were playing a game called Manhunt, but that caused a scare on the UK campus. The judge said that each player is eligible for a diversion program, which is often used in connection with less serious crimes and first offenses.
There is now a delay in the case of a Central Kentucky man charged with threatening Congressman Andy Barr. A federal judge has put Russell Little's case on hold until he has a psychiatric exam. U.S. Marshals say the exam likely won't happen until the end of November. The FBI says Little repeatedly called Congressman Barr's Lexington office and made threats. State police arrested Little in August after they say he led them on a chase on Interstate 75. They say they found a gun in his car. A woman has been cited after Lexington police say a child fell off the moped she was driving. Police cited 20-year-old LaShayla Holmes with wanton endangerment. They say last night she lost control of her moped on Bainbridge Court. Police say Holmes' 3-year-old nephew was riding in her lap and was injured. The child was taken to Kentucky Children's Hospital with what police called non-life-threatening injuries.
City leaders in Lexington are still trying to figure out the best time to bring in a large crane for the Centerpoint project. Centerpoint developers say they need the crane to begin the next phase of construction. But a traffic engineer says crews will have to close Main Street between Limestone and Upper for 42 hours to get the crane into position. Mayor Jim Gray's spokesperson says the city will work out a schedule to move in the crane when developers are ready, and both sides can find a time that will have a limited impact on traffic. The city has granted a building permit for a 12-floor office tower and the Jeff Ruby restaurant.
With colder temperatures in the forecast, it is a reminder that winter will be here soon. And if you use propane to heat your home, you may want to stock up now. As WKYT's Mike Linden tells us, experts say that could save you some headaches this winter.
The midpoint of the fall season is almost here, and Pepper Hardy of Hardy Gas Company has urged his customers to have their tanks full for winter.
That first frost, the first cold spell, we really get swamped. So it's best to have everyone we can filled up with their tanks filled up, and we're ahead of the game there.
Hardy says that the price of propane has already gone up by 30 cents since the summer, so filling up now could save you money.
Getting propane to your home during the winter months might prove difficult even for these 2,600-gallon tanks, because if you can't drive on the road, nor can these trucks.
It's not just residential tanks that need to be filled early. Business owners with larger tanks can depend on propane for both heat and energy, especially if the business is brand new and hasn't experienced a Kentucky winter.
We already have our new propane heater hooked up, and we're just going to fill up and just ride the winter out and hopefully serve our customers well and produce a good product.
Kentucky energy officials recommend to monitor your tank and get it filled when the level hits 25%. In Estill County, Mike Linden, WKYT.
As for other heating sources, the Energy Department predicts natural gas and electric customers will pay slightly less this winter compared to last. Some people said they had waited a long time for this day. The Cheesecake Factory has opened its doors here in Lexington.
This was grand opening day for the restaurant's new location at Fayette Mall. Some customers were in line an hour before the doors opened. And those we talked to say it was worth the wait.
We're super excited for the opening. We've been waiting for years.
Instead of having to drive to Cincinnati or Louisville, this is going to be really nice.
The Cheesecake Factory flew in trainers from around the country to teach the new employees of the Lexington restaurant. Other new stores and restaurants are expected to open in Fayette Mall in the coming weeks.
As Kroger continues renovating its Euclid Avenue store in Lexington, the grocery chain now plans to open a wine and spirit shop nearby. Our news partners at the Herald Leader report Kroger is leasing the former Premier Home Video building at the corner of Ashland and Euclid Avenues. Kroger plans to use the building as a standalone liquor store. The company expects its renovated Euclid Avenue store to be reopened in January. The new liquor store will open sometime after that.